Good day, everybody. This is Momo from TheMomoZone, and I hope that you're having an awesome day. Welcome to Momo's Motivation for Musicians, and today's episode is going to be called How to Manage Your Love Life for Musicians. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, what the heck does my love life got to do with me being a musician? I assure you that in the end, if you're going to make it, your love life is going to play an instrumental part in you getting there. I'm not saying that musicians can't have great relationships, but from everything I've seen all these years, I can tell you that musicians that are on the road or people that take their music and put it in front of their relationship have a much harder time having a serious, long-lasting relationship. Okay, now let's break down all the individual components and see where musicians really mess up when it comes to optimizing their personal love lives. Let's talk about timing for a minute. Now that's interesting. Why? Because musicians are supposed to have timing. The problem with timing in a band or timing when you're playing your instrument is very different as the timing with your girlfriend or boyfriend. It always seems that musicians' timing when it comes to priorities of their relationships, well, something always seems to come up. Oh, a gig just came in. I'm sorry, we can't have dinner anymore tonight. Oh, my friend just called me and he wants to jam. I think I'm going to go do that with him. Do you mind? Our timing isn't very focused because as our loved ones are trying to tell us something, there we are thinking about something else, and it's usually related to music. Our timing needs to be more specific with our loved ones so that we can sync up just like when we play with our bands. Keeping your word. I can't tell you how many times I've been recording with people or working with musicians where I have seen them break engagements and promises that they have said that they were going to be doing with their loved ones that, I'm sorry, I just can't make it. Something gets come up. Oh, I've got a gig. Oh, I've got this. Oh, I've got that. It's actually pretty incredible. And I cannot begin to tell you how many musicians I have seen lose the perfect girlfriend or boyfriend for the fact that they just always have an excuse and that they never keep their word. And they figure that, well, I'm really passionate about you, but I'm also passionate about my guitar. Why would you make me pick between the two of them if you love me? This is typical. You know it and I know it. So let me tell you, you gotta learn to keep your word. There is a time and a place for everything, and your loved one is the one that's going to back you up when you need it most. Loyalty. This is a good one, and it's also a stereotypical one that, you can only imagine what happens. You play in a band, oh, I'm going on a tour, I'm going on the road, your loved one is not part of it, they're staying at home, and if you do not have a strong bond of loyalty, well, then what's going to happen is exactly what you think is going to happen. There's going to be a lack of trust. Lack of trust with musicians that are on the road. Well, guess what? It doesn't really work out in the end, because if you decide that you're going to have a quick little cheat, remember that your partner can be doing the same thing behind your back on the other end. Now, what kind of relationship or love management is that? I think that it's important that if you are in a great relationship and you happen to have to go on the road, it's very important for you to stay in touch in a kind of a cool, regular way that you show that you miss and love that person. That person doesn't need to feel that when they're not at your side that you're going to have somebody else at your side. Very, very, very important. Now let's talk about the different kinds of musical couples that are out there these days. There are two types. The type of couple where one of them is a musician and one of them is not, and the other kind of couple where both parties are both musicians themselves. Let's take a second and talk about the couple where we have one musician and one who is not. What are the potential problems? Number one would be alienation. What does that mean? It means that you guys have two totally different sets of friends who don't necessarily see eye to eye or like the same things in any way, shape, or form, but you guys just happen to get along, and that is part of the magic that you might question later on. I believe that a great remedy for this is that the musician needs to take the non-musician and make them feel involved in as many different ways as possible. I'm talking right down to the micro level. If you're a guitar player, you need to get her interested in showing her the beauty of the artwork of really well-made instruments. Make them understand all the different kinds of pickups and different kinds of sounds that are possible between all the different gear when combined, what a pedal does. And look, this amp sounds awesome. Then you can get into a bit of history of your favorite artist and really show your passion, because a person that you're in love with loves to see the person that they're in love with be passionate. I assure you that they will think that this is awesome as you are getting them involved. Next, let's talk about the couples where both are musicians. This is very interesting because it can turn out in several different ways. Let's say that one of the musicians is way better than the other, and the one that is not as good has always had a dream of being the one. And then they look at you and they decide that you are the person that are going to turn them into that thing. This could eventually turn out to be a great big mess that could possibly very well lead to a breakup. Then there's the other kind of couple and musicians where they are both really good and they work really well together. This stands a better chance, but what happens is they become one and they need to understand the difference between their musical relationship as well as their personal relationship as to why they got together in the first place. If music is the only thing that bonds them together, well, if the music stops, so does the relationship. And I believe that a relationship needs to be based more than on just one thing. To me, that's kind of like saying, oh, the only reason I love you is because of the sex. There is one other kind of couple that I will call the complementary artistic couple. That is the couple where one of them can be a musician and the other one has another talent that is needed in the music industry. Your partner might be a great artist, a great photographer, a great marketer, a lawyer. They could even wind up being your biggest fan and your manager. I truly find that this type of arrangement is the arrangement of an artistic couple that has the biggest chance for the longest longevity. Why? Because it is a totally three-dimensional plan that has the power to constantly expand as long as the couple evolves. So there you go. That's how to manage your love life as a musician. I hope some of these tips and tricks made things clear. It's very important to look at everything inside your mind just like it's a great arrangement. I believe that if you guys want to go out there and step it up, just like you step up everything you believe in music, don't forget about having the greatest relationship of all, because in the end, that will be your ultimate achievement and your ultimate song that you've ever written and produced and turned into your own personal hit that will be the greatest song in the world. Hey guys, thanks for listening, and you can see me every Friday on my Facebook or my YouTube page, or if you want to see more, you can go to www.TheMomoZone.com. I wish you guys an awesome musical day. You guys totally rock. You're on the Momo Zone.